Good morning, my dear students, and welcome back to class 1 English Literature. In the previous class, I had explained to you the story called All Summer in a Day. In the previous class, we had seen the children were ready to see the sun. And you know what has happened to Margaret? She is locked up in the closet, and other children are going to see the sun. So now in today's class, we are going to see what was the experience of the children after experiencing or after watching the sun, because they are going to see the sun in their first time in their life. They had seen when they were 2 years old, but they did not have any remembrance, they did not have any experience, they had completely forgotten about it. But now when they are now they are 9 years old, and they are going to experience the sun in a better manner, and that's what we are going to see in today's class. It was a color of, now they are, after having seen the sun, now they are telling how does it look like. It was a color of flaming bronze, and it was very large. Sun was the flaming bronze, and it was very large, and the sky around it was blazing blue tile color, and the jungle around burned with the sunlight as the children, released from their spell, rushed out yelling into the springtime. Till then they were seeing only the sun. Now they saw the sun. The color was flaming bronze, it was very large, and the sky around it was blazing blue tile color, and the jungle began to experience the sunlight after 7 years, and the children rushed outside, which means they were waiting to see, and they all came out yelling and shouting into the springtime. Now do not go too far, called the teacher after them. The teacher told them, my dear children, do not go too far, because you have only just 2 hours, and try to come back fast. You have only 2 hours, you know, you would not want to get caught out. So what happens if you come late, what happens again, you will be in the rain. So do not go too far, and try to come back early. But they were running and turning their faces up to the sky, feeling the sun on their cheeks like a warm iron. They were taking off their jackets and letting the sun burn their arms. So children did not listen to the sound of the teacher or what was told by the teacher. They were looking at the sun, and they were experiencing the sun. They were feeling the sun on their cheeks like a warm iron, and they removed their jackets so they could experience, or their body could experience the sun. Oh, it is better than the sun lamps, isn't it? So children have got their own explanation. They are asking, they are talking among themselves, and one of them told, oh, it is better than the sun lamp, isn't it? Much better. So they had seen only the picture about they have seen the sunlight, but they are telling this is something better. They stopped running and stood in the great jungle that covered Venus, that grew and never stopped growing tremulously even as you watched it. It was a nest of octopi clustering up the great arms of flesh like weed, wavering, flowering in this brief spring. It was the color of rubber and ash, this jungle, from the many years without the sun. It was the color of stones and the white cheeses and ink, and it was the color of the moon. So what are the meanings I have given here? Tremulously means in disorder, not in a proper manner, in a completely disorder. Octopi means marine molluscs of Octopodia. It's a kind of a leaf, or it's a kind of a species. Okay. Clustering means grouping. Now what happens? They stopped running and stood in the great jungle that covered Venus, that grew and never stopped growing. That's the forest grows continuously because there is continuous rain, and it has not grown, it has grown up not in a particular order, it has grown up in a disorderly, completely it has grown up disorderly, or it has spread disorderly when as you watched it. It was a nest of octopi, means in this particular jungle it was a nest for the species. Clustering means grouping up great arms of flesh like weed. It was the growth place of weed wavering, flowering in this brief spring. So what happens, there are flowers that happens because of the appearance of the sun. It was the color of the rubber and ash, this jungle, from the many years without the sun. It was the color of stones and white cheeses and ink, and it was the color of the moon. So what happened? The jungle is also experiencing the sun, and they are watching the difference that happens because of the appearance of the sun. Now what happens later? The children lay out laughing on the jungle mattress. So the jungle was like a mattress, and heard it sigh and squeak under them, resilient and alive. They ran among the trees, they slipped and fell, they pushed each other, they played hide and seek and tag, and most of all they squinted at the sun until the tears ran down their faces. Because we watch the sun daily and we don't have any excitement, but the children are experiencing sun for their first time in their life, and they ran among the trees, they slipped and fell, they pushed each other, they were playing hide and seek, and they were just sitting and watching the sun until tears ran down their faces. They put their hands up to that yellowness and that amazing blueness, and they breathed the fresh air and listened to the silence which suspended them in a blessed sea of no sound and no motion. Then wildly, like animals escaped from the caves, they ran in shouting circles. They ran for an hour and did not stop running. So this particular sun had made a huge difference in the children. They breathed fresh air, they listened to the silence. The children were experiencing silence, and they were like the animals that escaped from the caves. The animals that escaped from the caves, they simply go on running. That's how the children were simply running in the jungle, because they were so happy and they were experiencing the sun. And then in the last minutes of their running, one of the girls wailed. It stopped. Everyone stopped. The girl standing in the open held out her hand. Now what happens? Suddenly what happens? They were running in the jungle. One of the girls stopped. The girl standing in the open held out her hand. Oh, look, she said, trembling means shivering. They came slowly to look at her opened palm. So what happened? All of them came together and they were looking at the opened palm of that particular girl. In the center of it, what did they see there? The center of it, cupped means in the shape of a cup, and was a huge raindrop. What does it mean? Sun is disappearing and it is going to rain again. A few cold drops fell on their noses and their cheeks and their mouths. The sun faded behind a stir of mist. So then what happened? The sun was disappearing and it was going to rain again. So that's for today. Today we have seen the experience of children watching the sun for the first time in their life. They had seen it when they were 2 years old, but they did not have any real experience, because when you are 2 years old you don't remember anything. Now when they are 9 years old, they have got a better understanding and knowledge about the concept called the sun. Now what happens? Aragrot is locked up in the closet and the other children are outside watching and experiencing the sun for the first time in their life. They have come to the jungle, and there is spring in the rain in the jungle because of the sun, and they are enjoying it very, very nicely. And I hope you have understood the experience of the children watching the sun. I hope you have understood. Thank you.